Oh, all right. Before we commence, okay, David, smarten up. I can't hear you. Stop it. Okay, that's enough. Let's move on because I'm sure there are other people in the chat who are like, "Who is this girl? Like, get it together." Okay, so I'm gonna switch over to the next screen here so we can see, ta-da, one of the boxes that I have for my Marvel Champions. So this is one of the things. Oh, sorry if it's too loud. Let me know. I'll turn it down. So this is one of the things with the box that I don't love. And this is not a fault of anything that I've used to organize games. Obviously, I've handwritten it. Normally, I would type it, but let's be clear, I was a little lazy. And I have a lot. If you see behind me, there are like several more boxes there. This is something I'll get into a little bit later. But I've labeled what's in here and then labeled if it's like a villain, a hero, scenario, mod, and stuff like that. So this is something I need to kind of do better. I don't like the way this looks. I might just type something. I might even just put like a plastic sheet with a paper in the inside. I don't know. I'm testing out some theory. So if you all have something that you suggest or think is cool, I'm down for that as well. So let's start off with and I'll put up pictures on the screen as well. So this is the games layer. So this is what we're looking at here, the games layer 600 plus convertible. So I will hopefully try and put the right picture up as I do this. And this comes off. So this comes off like that. Now, the cool thing about this, it turns into a dice tray. I'll be honest with you, I've never used it as a dice tray, not because it's not cool or whatever, but just the games that I put in this don't require me to use it in that way. And I don't know what my problem is, but every time I try to do the dice tray, it's like I just can't seem to like get it. And it's not hard. It's just my brain just goes, "Oh, do I turn this into the dice tray?" I'm trying to do it off screen here so I can do it for you, but worst comes to worst, we can just move on to the things and then I'll show you the things. But there we go. It actually isn't that hard. I was just making it way harder than it needed to be. So this is it as uh, the dice tray. So this is like this, and then it's supposed to like pinch the corners like that. And now you have a dice tray. So I don't use it for that just because I'm using it for Marvel Champion stuff, but it is great if you're like traveling or whatever and you want to put like a few games in here and you need a dice tray, this will do it for you. You don't have to pay for it. So good point, David. Like put that stuff on the inside. That's a really good point. Keeping in mind, now that I just showed you, do you still want it here because this turns into a dice tray? So that's the only thing with this particular one. So something to consider. So that is the dice tray, which I don't use it for, like I said. Bloop. So that can just hang out over there for now. Then I'm going to turn it this way. Zip. Okay, and if something is not clear, let me know and I'll make sure that it's on screen. So I did actually upgrade the pieces in the game. So Suzanne was very kind enough to order these for me. So for those who do play Marvel Champions, these are some of the components that I have, and they look like they're I don't know if it's like a 3D print or something like this. But yeah, so these are normally like cardboard components, and you can upgrade these, and I think you can get these on like Etsy or something along those lines. So they're not official pieces, but they're pieces that I got online. These are not from Game Genic. These are just from someone online, and I think there are a few people that do generate these. And yeah, so David, there you go. You wouldn't use a dice tray either. Not for this, maybe for something else. So that is something you can do. They are not bad, but I would go in with somebody if you're going to do this. I think it's probably just a better value than just buying them separately, but that also could be a Canadian thing. All right, so those are some of the pieces here. You'll see a whole bunch of these. These are the trackers for health and whatnot that come with it. I do some work for some other companies, so they gave me some like plastic ones I could use. I know there are ones that click as well, but these ones just don't tend to move as freely. Just depends how tight you put those in. And then cards and whatnot. I just have them here. Just these ones. These are the status cards. But again, we have the status cards and then the tokens that I was saying before. We also have these as well, which mimic the cards. So they have those as well. And David's saying there's a lot of great upgraded components on Etsy. You have a set of the acrylic components as well. Okay, it's acrylic. I wasn't sure if it was like 3D printed, although I'm sure you could do that and then just like paint them. But yeah, so that's an option as well. So the games layer plus 600 plus convertible. It's supposed to hold up to 600 double sleeved or 800 board game sleeves. So if you're not sure what that means, some people, depending on some games, I don't know if Magic players do this, they double sleeve their cards, which obviously are going to take up more room. And or you can just use regular sleeves, so just one sleeve, and that'll let you hold 800 versus 600 with the double. So now you'll see a couple of things in here. And it's hard on this top view. I will pull them out so you can actually see it. But a lot of this one that I have is mostly starter stuff. So like my reference cards are in here, and my basic cards are in here, things like that. And I tried to color code these with the dividers. So I'll show you what those look like. So the dividers, which I may have not put on here. There we go. Flex dividers. Okay, so those are the flex dividers. These are great. I love a good divider, and well, guess what? You'll see lots of them here. So now these are another thing where I'll just pull one out so you can see. Boop. So here's where I have a divider. This one is probably white, probably wasn't the best option. I've kind of labeled it there on a sticky because I don't want to ruin the divider. Again, I could have done this a little differently, but I liked these dividers because they can go like this or they can go this way and this folds. So you can get them both ways. But then I put the title of whatever character it is, and then I have my cards. Okay, and sorry, there's a bit of light there. There we go. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But those are the dividers. I have a lot of these. I really enjoy them because I find that they do kind of separate really easily, nicely, and I can label them and they fit in this particular box. So those I think are like a couple of dollars, and they come in a pack of 10 with a whole bunch of different colors. And I think US $2.50. They were out of stock for the longest time, but now they're back in stock. So those are something that I actually have a lot of, and I like those a lot. Okay, and I'm looking at the chat. Magic is, yeah, so it is Magic. I thought so. It's been a long time, but yeah, those are the double sleeves. So bear in mind, if you use this, 600 will hold 600 double sleeved of your Magic cards, if that's the way you want to go. But I think I have another box that I'm going to show you after that would be better for that sort of situation. But double sleeving can get expensive. I mean, sleeves are expensive, and this is what we're going to talk about now because I chose to do matte sleeves, but I didn't just choose to do any type of matte sleeve. No, because I can't do anything, just simple. So I decided to go with the art sleeves. So I don't know if anybody has done the art sleeves before, so I've just put up an example of one. So this is the Venom one I have. I have all of them, and these were kindly sent to me by GameGenic. So the deck I pulled out here is Ant-Man. Okay, so these are what I mean by art sleeves, and these ones can run a little bit more expensive. So the art sleeves, just for those who might want a price, give me a sec here. I think they're around $7.99 US. Yeah, sorry, $2.99 to $5.99 US. In Canada, I'm pretty sure they're like $8 plus. Yeah, so they can get a little pricey. So these are the art sleeves. Not every character has these, but so I have Ant-Man. And let me get this, put that back in there. And I'm trying to see what else I might have here that people would like. I have, oh, those are the other ones. Let me pull that bad boy out here. Boop. We have Black Widow is another one. Okay, so there are different ones for different characters. So those are some of the art sleeves, and I mean, I like them. They're cool. And not everyone has, like, not every character has them, but it's cool if you want to just try something fun. So that was really nice. And like I said, I was given these sleeves. Would I bought them? Probably. But I mean, it was nice that they were in fact given to me. So I do appreciate that. And so David's talking about matte sleeves. So these are matte. Matte sleeves are the best if you ever want to stream. That would be correct. So these are in fact matte. The only reason why you might be getting a little bit of a glare is I have a light here, and unfortunately it's just shining in like the wrong spot, but these are matte. Okay, and what else? I'm trying to see here. So the only thing is, so this is where it gets tricky. So these are matte, because I put matte ones on these ones, right? And I thought, oh, okay, maybe the ones that come with the art sleeves would be matte. They're not. And that is good and bad. So this is not matte. And these are the art sleeves. They're not. They're not high gloss, but they do have a touch of a gloss to them. Okay. So just bear that in mind. So the good thing, and I talked to Suzanne about this, she said these ones here have better slip to them. So when you're trying to go through them or shuffle them or whatever, it's easier versus the matte sleeves, like these ones here, tend to stick together a little bit and are harder to shuffle. So I thought it would be the other way around. And Suzanne, please, if you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong. I could have sworn that was I thought we might have got that mixed up, but I just know that some of them were not kind of. It was a lot harder to shuffle. Sleeve your sleeves. Okay, now we're just getting ridiculous. Y'all are wild. So in going with art sleeves, I didn't just get those ones. I also got these ones. So these sleeves here. So I guess it would fall into like the art sleeve category, but any of your blue cards. So for those, I'll just show it because, okay, well, that's not a good example. Let me see. There we go. Here we go. So this is the actual card, and then this is the actual sleeve that comes with it. So I did do all of these with that particular, with all of my decks. Hi, Gamer to Sky. Thanks for popping in. And please feel free. If there's a way you organize your decks and things that I'm not talking about, like let us know in the chat. I mean, it's always great to learn new things. And actually, while going through this, I realized that I sleeved something wrong. So there you go. The color that I ran out of was this one. So now you can see it is actually in a clear sleeve because orange was, I don't know if they were out of stock or what happened, but these were so hard to find. So I ended up having to do this, which annoys me because all the other ones are in the other sleeves. So now I'm hoping to get it so I can put these in the correct one, but I do have quite a few like this. So I'm hoping those are back in stock. And that's the problem, right? Like you're now kind of beholden to doing that. Otherwise you get this like double idea, and that's not the point. We want to try and make it the same. So that is something to consider. They also have them in purple and black as well. So for some of the other sleeves that are available. What is the chat saying here? So Jeremiah Blob. Okay, hear me out. The old Ultra Pro art sleeves from early 2000s were not the same quality. So the few that I have and use did get sleeved. Sleeve the sleeve. Of course, the more meaningful solution is just to buy modern sleeves. But I get that. Like you're putting, so there's like sentiment and value there. So it's like, you don't want to get rid of it because it's like cool, but at the same time, like the sleeve quality, we need to step it up. So you want to do that. I get it. Like, listen, I'm sleeving mine with all the most like random expensive things. So who am I to judge anybody? Okay, so that is Black Widow. Let's just put that in the right spot. Okay, pop that back in there. Zip, zip. Okay, so you get an idea of what I'm doing, but then you can see that I have all the different dividers and that I just labeled them with just like a little sticky that I've written out. Again, this is something I might want to type, but I feel like this is where like, and I don't know what the solution is to this, like of getting like fancier looking sleeves. I mean, obviously I would like ones that look a bit more professional. I could type them out, and that's the concept that I was thinking, type them on the sticky labels. We'll see. That's time, and this already took me quite a bit of time. So that's just like one part of this. I'm just showing you the top part. And there's a little plexiglass that's in the middle. So if you don't want to hold all these cards here, you can actually move this over and have like if you have bigger size cards and put something else. I just did this way because I wanted 2 rows of cards here. Hello, Slivers. Thanks for popping in. I know it's lunchtime, so I was trying to figure I'd just do this quickly and have a chat with all of y'all. David, I clear sleeve most of my Marvel champions, but use black sleeves on the villain stuff. I used to have specific colors for certain aspects, and swapping sleeves got old. And that's a really good point. Like if you are, let me just turn that off. If you are doing a lot of deck building, then yes, you're going to be doing a lot of that sleeve swapping. I do not do a lot of deck building in this game. Not right now. I have so many decks I'm still trying to like learn and get through. So I haven't really been doing that, but I could see the frustration with that. And that could get a little upsetting. And that's why like the, is it the basic cards, I think, are the ones that you end up having to like add to other decks. I swear, like if I could have like 4 sets of these, that would be great. And I've actually contemplated just like printing more of those cards just on my own and then sleeving them because you're not gonna really know the difference, but like that's more work for me right now that I want to do. So something to consider, but I do find if you're deck building, having another set of those cards is really important. So there's another panel here on the side, and this boop pops open just like that. And there's a little drawer here. So this actually, you don't have to take it out. You could actually just decide to open it like this or like this and take out the whole box. So I do have a deck in here. And for anybody who has Marvel Champions, you'll know, yes, it does sound like that when you open it. Boop, and then a little click to close it. No, I'm joking. So the deck that's in here, if you play Marvel Champions, is the Hulk deck because it's one of those ones where it just has the basic cards and you have to build on it. So these ones fit here. If you had some of the bigger decks, like the ones that are kind of pre-seeded already, it might be a little tight in here. I use cards here. You don't have to. That's just something you can do. And that just slides right in. So maybe I'll just see if I can maybe show you. You can see that's where that goes. And then we'll just pop that back in. Goes in real easy, really easy. And then I have the same down here. Same thing. And again, if you play Marvel Champions, you'll know Iron Man is another one that has very few cards. And again, it's one that you're going to have to add cards to. This is why I'm like, want to make copies of those basic cards because I just have it already in there. And then instead of me having to like take it in, put it out, take it in, put it out. So, yeah, so that's good. So She-Hulk is a great solo. Gamma Slam is a game editor. Okay, good to know. I have not played that one solo. So that's really good to know because I do end up playing this game mostly solo because a lot of my friends are just not into these types of games. And I'm glad that it plays solo. Versus Lorcana, which is more kind of like Magic-esque, you need someone else to play it with. And I just don't think that my friends are really going to be into it. So fortunately, none of y'all live close to me. Otherwise, we could play. So I slide those in there and yeah, do that. We're not done. There's more. So then I turn it around on the other side, and it has a very similar kind of side like this as well. And again, this panel down here pops open. Boop. There it is. And this also comes out. Now, this one doesn't flip open like the other one. It's actually a full-on drawer. So some of the components that I was showing you that you could potentially have like this, and I could put these in here as well if I wanted to, you know, just how I'm feeling, whatever. But these are just the components for the game that are the cardboard ones that come with it. And these come in a little drawer. So I could just put those back in there and slide that back in. And then there's a second drawer where you have a few more of those components. Okay. And that is literally, yeah, so it's pretty sweet. So this is great, not just for Champions, for any game. And like I said, you can move this around in the middle so you can make room for bigger cards. You've got some options. And this, I'd thrown it up on the screen, but just in case anyone is just coming in, this is the Games Lair 600 plus. This is a pricier one. I think it retails for about 80 US. I actually think it's very similar Canadian. I think the price isn't much different. Yeah, and then here's where you can just be willy-nilly, put whatever it is you want up here. I just have some cards in the counters, and that's it. And for those who missed it, this does turn into a dice tray. And you do that by just pinching the corners. Oops, if I could do that and that. There you go. So then it turns into a dice tray. Okay, so keeping in mind, you may not use a dice tray. For me, I don't really use it, but guess what? I might use it for something else. So it's here. So there you go. So that's the Games Lair 600 plus. And I have it in red, so that's the color they sent it to me in. It doesn't come in a ton of colors, though. I think it only comes in like gray, red. I personally would have preferred a nice deep purple, but we're going to look at some of those colors because GameGenic did send me some other things in those colors because they know that's what I like. So this just goes on top like this, and they're little magnetic pieces on the side to hold it. And for those who maybe are just joining, this is what I did to label what's in here. I don't love this. David had mentioned put it on the inside, but if you do end up using it as a dice tray, you're not going to want this on the inside. So potentially I was thinking of having like a sheet, you know, one of those plastic sheets, and then just having it typed out and then just slipping it in there. And that could go on the inside just on top or something like that. So Games Lair. So I'll toss that over here. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a little stuck now with my headset. Okay, so do we want a small one or a big one? I'll let the chat decide. Do you want to see the small box or a bigger box? What are you thinking? I know y'all are working, so even if you just put like a Y or an N for yes or no, then I'll know. I feel like maybe the big one. The big one's going to have two of them, so this is why. Bigger. All right, thank you, Gameritis guy, for jumping in. Everyone's a little shy or working. Oh, God. Okay, so there are two of these. See, it doesn't even fit on screen. It's so big. Okay, I don't know which one this is. I might have to switch it up, but bigger. Let's go bigger. Why not? So I'll do it this way. Oh my gosh. So this is I'm going to put a little picture up of this one here. This is the Dungeon 1100 Plus convertible. Wow, it sounds like a car. Vroom, vroom. So this holds up to 1100 double sleeved cards, and this retails for about 64 oh no, this retails for 64 US dollars. And sorry, yes, this is all Marvel Champions I'm showing you, by the way. So everything you see here is Marvel Champions. I do have another games layer that's full of My Little Pony, but all of this is Marvel Champions. Don't judge me. I just find this, yeah, David, exactly. How much is there? A lot. And keep in mind, I don't even have all of it. I have a lot of it, but I don't have all of it. And I'm probably going to like lay off for a bit until I can get through some of the newer stuff. So this is the Dungeon 1100 Plus convertible. Holds 1100 sleeved cards. Retails for about 64 US. I have it in gray. This is another one I wish that came in like more cool colors. But this is the color I have. It's more of a neutral. So yeah, anytime you get into these kind of like tradable, collectible, living card games, this is what happens. But yeah, there are definitely some characters that I like better than others. I did not love Drax. Guardians of the Galaxy was kind of lukewarm for me, that whole box. So I know people will disagree with me, but here we are. So the Dungeon 1100 Plus comes off. This does not turn into a dice tray. Okay, so it's just a cover. Oh, there we go. It's like right in there. I don't know. I have two of these that are set up differently just because I didn't buy something I wanted. So, okay, so this was the one with not the tray. We'll talk about that one after. So this is just the cover. Just covers. Game Genic on the inside. Cool, cool, cool. Let's put this over here. So this is set up a little differently. So this is my like in transit because I haven't really decided what I'm doing with it yet. So there are a few things we're going to look in here, including some new things that have come out. So let's, yeah, actually, I didn't realize I had so many different boxes in here. And David's right. You don't have to get it all, right? David is right. Drax is good, just not in the box. Protection is kind of meh anyways. I don't mind protection. I just didn't like Drax, but you're right. It is one that you'll have to like change up, and I'm one of those like ready done people. I like it just to be out of the box, let's go. You know what I mean? So just saying. But I get it. There are a lot of people that like that character. I'm just not a fan. Jeremiah, which game series did you ever 100% retail expansions only? So for those who don't know, I'm actually not an expansions person. I know I'm saying that while I'm showing you Marvel Champions, but current to date it would be My Little Pony, but I actually don't really buy expansions unless it's a game that I like really like. So but I'd be curious in the chat to know if anybody else has 100%ed anything. Yeah, let me know. So we got a few different things in here. This was when I first started organizing. I was using these boxes. So these ones here, let me just take off the dungeon. We have and I apologize because I have so many different things on here. It's wild. I have is it the side holder? Yeah, there we go. The side holder, which is this one. Okay, so that's this box right here. So I have a label maker, so I was making the labels on them. So this is the old way that I was doing it. So these boxes come in different colors. They hold up to 100 plus double sleeves, and I think there's about 50 in each deck. So it probably could even hold like a little bit more, but you get the idea. And this one does have dividers in here. So remember those dividers I showed you earlier, but you can make them sideways. So they do fit in here. Okay, so I do have all my cards in here as well. So I usually keep 2 characters in the box when I was doing this. So before I was doing this and housing these in a box. And this was great too. So this is also nice because they do fit in this as well, in the dungeon. There are also these ones. Sorry, and these ones here, which are the side holders, are about $3.49. So this was like a really this was an inexpensive option. So $3.49 US. This was great, and these are still great. Like if I just want to grab a pack and go, I can just boop boop throw that in a one of these or a smaller one that I have, which I'll show you later, and I'm on my way. Okay, so keeping that in mind. So that one is that. So let's now put off that one. So then we also have, and I don't think I put both in here, unfortunately. So we have the Squire 100 Plus, which is not actually this one. I'll move this up. It's not actually this one. This is the bigger version. The Squire is this one. So you notice the shape difference? Okay, so you can see the difference in that. And I just label them on top. Again, I have things that like I use in sewing that you can use like making things sticky on fabric. I just don't want it to leave any residue or whatnot. So I have a few of these and these were given to me, and the colors of these are, this is what I'm talking about. The purples and the pinks, and these hold 100 plus cards again, sleeved. So these ones have a top that opens. Okay, and it's again magnetic, and you can swap these out. Like if you have different colors, you don't have to put purple with purple. You can put different colors on them. So there's different ways that you can do that. And again, I have the 2 decks with the dividers in here, and it holds it quite nicely. Again, I try and group things together. Star-Lord and Gora, obviously they're part of the same pack, so I try to put those together. This is very similar. It's just the cards are in a different way. But if you notice, the same thing. They're just on the side versus at the top. David, no, the game, like, let's be clear, it's not cheap. I mean, for me, I come from a family where if you want quality, you spend the money. I'm not saying everything costs a lot of money that's quality, but if I want it, I buy it. And I get it. This is not affordable for everybody. This is why when I started, I was using these. And what I did was I put all my things in here. These cost like a few dollars a box, and they fit 2 characters each. And then I got an old cable box. It's almost like a silver box with a handle. I emptied it out. There wasn't really anything in it. And I put the boxes in there and I just stacked them that way. And that literally cost me, for the box, I think the box was like 20 bucks because it's like a cable box or something like this. And then each of these boxes were a few dollars each. So far cheaper, and that is a solution that works, and it was great. I mean, that's how I started doing it. And then like I said, I was given some of this stuff. This one I bought, actually, this box, but yeah, then I was switched over to doing it this way because I had things to use. But yes, I get it. It is not a cheap venture, absolutely. So those are some of the boxes you can use for that. Then recently, so let me just take off the old Squire here. So recently, the Bastion 100 Plus XL, this is new. So this literally just came out. And of course, they know me so well, they sent it in the colors of my dreams. Purple and pink. And I like the fact that these are clear, right? So you can see. That's why if you notice, like those other boxes having clear, I like that you can see through them. So these ones are, you can hear, these are like a different type of material. So these ones here are new. I'm pretty sure they're out. And these retail for about $11.99 US. So it's not too bad. And these ones, to open, this was tricky for me at first, and I'm still trying to figure it out, so bear with me. You have to like squeeze this down at the bottom, and then it opens. But what's cool about this, so you have the cover there or whatever. So I'm sure you could use the cover to hold things as well, but it's kind of cool because the cards stay standing. In this game, I don't know how much you're going to keep your cards in here like this, but for other games, maybe you want them like that on the table for you to stay organized and stand. So I thought that was really nice, and I do like that it has a kind of translucent look to it. So they're pretty sweet. I got to admit. So even if they didn't send me this, I probably I'd probably buy a few just because I like the look of it, and the material's cool. Okay, and then you just click it back in place. So nice for durability. Okay, so that's the Bastion 100 Plus, and that's new. I think those just came out. David, I like those. They look like the UG Boulder. Why have I heard of the Boulder? It's probably something similar then if you're saying that. Jeremiah, I want that. Yeah, that's me all the time. I want that. And I just buy it. Gameritis guy, I'm still trying to see if LCGs are my jam or not. I tried getting into Arkham, but just never got into it. And I have a friend who's in Arkham, and he has literally everything. You think I have a lot? He has everything. And then he's like juiced it up on top of that. Not just like the basic, like whatever exists for the most expensive thing in Arkham, he's done it. So I get it, and I'm not here to judge anyone because look what I'm doing. So, but I get it. It's an expense, right? You have to be able to afford that expense. So I get that. So that is this first dungeon box. This is different than my other one. So this is just kind of, me playing around with different boxes that I have. And if I have them, I'm going to use them, right? So those stay in here. And as you can see, this is one way that you could kind of put together your dungeon. 1100, because there's a different one I'll show you after. Okay, so that goes like that, and we just close that up. So that one is done. I'm gonna just slide here for a second. I gotta get my other box. All right, so this is my second dungeon. Let me just take the bastion off the screen so I'm not confusing anybody. Gameritis. I also like to freak people out when I say I used to play Magic the Gathering Dimension when I left the hobby. I played a long time ago. It was like my post I put up recently about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's been over 30 years. So let that sink in as to how old I am. People think I'm young. I'm not. All right. So this is my second dungeon. Okay. And I bought this. Okay. So this was not given to me. So this one's set up a little differently. Haha, it looks very similar to the other box, the games layer that I had previously. So we're going to turn this. Now this is cool. Not going to lie, this made me go, yay! What does game right is? I left whenever they introduced the trample ability. I have no idea when that was. The last person I mentioned that to gave an audible gasp. Listen, nowadays being, 30 is old. So, I mean, I don't know. It's wild. So you'll see that I have a lot of the same dividers as the other boxes, but you'll see something a little different here. And this might be kind of hard to show, but let me see if I can pull it to the side a little bit. So this actually has a structure in it. So I don't know if you can see that on camera, but see where my finger is? That's like a separator of like a plexi in here. So these can be moved to divide. So this black piece that's here on the inside, so this empty space here, you can kind of hear that. That is like a structure you put together, and it's almost like, think of like a filing cabinet. You have something you put in your filing cabinet, you can go through your files. This is the same thing. So this is two of them. Okay, so there's one on this side and one on this side, and this one is called the cards rail. So I put a picture on the screen if you want to take a look at what that does. And the cards rail will run you, it's cards rail 500 plus, so anytime you see that number, it's usually telling you it can fit 500. So you add it, sorry, back it up, Mandy. Holy moly. You can add it to this one, the Dungeon 1100. I haven't shown you the other dungeon, which is the half size of this, the 500. But one side, so one rail, will hold 500 double-sleeved cards. Okay. So this, I'm not going to lie to you. This is beautiful. I really like this. Having that in here to just kind of like give it that stability and kind of organize the cards. And like I said, you can move these plastic pieces here. So I put that one there, but like they come out. Let me see if I can take one out so you can see. So it's kind of like a little plexi or something. And then wherever you want to put it, there are notches in here that it will sit in to hold it. So that to me was like chef's kiss. And this again is a newer product. I don't know if it's available. It retails, I think it is now. It wasn't when I had it, but this retails for about $30 US. And I would contemplate buying these for this sort of setup. I also like the other way as well. What is Gamerite is saying? That's a card collection version of a disorganized file cabinet. No, it's not. Everything has a place and everything has an order. Bye, David. Thanks for popping in. I knew people were working, so I appreciate you coming to say hi and have a chat with us. So, yeah, there are a lot of colors. And you don't have to use all the different dividers. I like the colors, you know what I mean? Certain boxes I'll use specific colors, and then I'll know, like, for the first box, if it was like protection, I'll use green or whatever the color that matches the card. So for me, it's not... I like the colors, but I know it's not for everybody. And then on each divider, I've also written what it is. So, for example, this is Mysterio, who's a villain, but I know he's part of the Sinister Motives collection, which means all of these will be that. So, it's a system that works for me. Definitely, if you were in here and you were looking, it would make sense. You just read it, and then if it's part of like a bigger section, that divider will have a piece on it that tells you. So... Gameritis guy. Let's be clear, Gameritis guy. I also have ADHD. That's like you just summed that up in one sentence. So definitely. So the box version, the first version I showed you with like the boxes, that definitely is something that might work better for other people. totally fine. You do fit more cards this way in this one. Yeah, you go from there. So, but like I said, I'll have a lot of these ones here where it'll have the main thing and then everything behind it is for that particular scenario. So definitely everyone organizes a little differently. Totally get it. It just looks like a lot because there are a lot of different colored dividers and that might throw people off. But then once you actually sit down, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Trust me. I'm very organized at work, I swear. So yeah, so that's what I have. And again, I was just testing this kind of thing out, but it gives you an idea of what everything looks like. So that's the cards rail that's in there. So that's part of the Dungeon 1100. And again, you have to buy a separate one for each row. So that's that. And the last box, I know you're like, what? There's more? Yes, there's more. There's one more. All right. So this is the last box that I have. I know, shockingly. And oopsie, that's not the one we want. Cards rail, we want this one, the Dungeon 550 Plus. So this is half the size of the other one, as you can visibly see. Okay. Hi, Amanda. So yes, Game Artist Guy, this is the smaller one. It's the half size of the Dungeon 1100. This is the Dungeon 550 Plus. So again, it looks exactly the same but smaller. And this one doesn't have a ton of stuff in it because this is one that I just had a few decks and I just hadn't really decided what I was going to do with them yet. So they're there, I know they're there, but this is structured a little differently than the other one. So this one here has spacing in here for other things. You could put like components and whatnot in there. This comes right off. This doesn't turn into a dice tray or anything like that. There are also slots here, so if you had any like player boards or like we had in that other one where you can check your health, you can pop those in there as well. And that's it. So you have a place to put components, cards, or other components. And then as you saw with my other one here. So these ones I haven't quite labeled yet, but you can see that I have others in here. So these are nice to travel with and whatnot. So definitely might be more approachable for some people, especially if you have a smaller collection. This could be good. Or the Games Lair that I showed you first probably would be a good one because it has room for like all your bits and bobs and things like that. So that's the Dungeon 550 Plus. This one is about 39 US, give or take. Sometimes you can get them on sale. So it really just depends. So that is that one. Now, two things that I didn't show you. I'm not currently using them right now. And I wasn't going to show them on the stream, but you know what? I have a few minutes, so I'm going to show them to you. So I'm going to go grab them. They're on my dresser behind me here. So 1 second, everybody. I'm not wearing the cordless one, so I got to go and grab it. 1 second. Okay. So Amanda, you just jumped in. So yeah, so this one I had that I was showing earlier. I was showing it for Marvel Champions specifically. You can use it with any game, so they're not specific to Champions. The sleeves and things that I use, yes, but you can use it for any type of LCG, CCG, or any of those types of games. So ones that I am not currently using, but I have used before, sometimes when I travel, are some of the kind of like big boxes. So that would be the Stronghold is one. And this is this one. Okay, so you can see here that I had it before. This is where I had my Guardians of the Galaxy and some other things. This one's kind of fun because pieces come off. So we can take off that first piece. And here, let's turn it this way. A drawer is here. So you could put, let me get it out there. So here's where you could put like cards and stuff like that if you wanted to. Okay, or pieces or whatever you wanted to do. So that's something that happens there. Again, these are like, if you have lots of these, you can swap these out with like other ones that you have just to make it look cool. And then here's another kind of slot again, where you can put whatever thing that you want to put in there. It's again, what you have to do. And another drawer for cards. Okay, so you can see that you have a lot of room to put things. So this is the Stronghold. This is the Stronghold 200 Plus. So this is going to hold about 200 double-sleeved cards, and it retails for about 45 US. Okay, so this one's a little bit more, but it is bigger. But I'm going to show you the smaller version of this. And I see a question in the chat. So someone's asking, do I like these better than Quiver? Okay, that's a great question. I also have Quiver products, and Quiver products I use for different things. So I do like Quiver products. I have their sorry, the name's not coming right off the bat, but they have like a long kind of like you can carry it in the case. And I apologize if somebody knows in the chat what it's called. And I put like I have the game Claim, which is a two-player game. I put it all in that because that's one I could just carry on my shoulder and travel with. So that part of it's really cool, and I really do like that. I have some of their deck boxes and some of their sleeves and things like that. And I do prefer the Game Genic sleeves. I'm just a texture kind of gal. They're not bad. It's just the texture that I prefer. But I do like their cases to carry the games with you. I think that's really great. Yeah, please, thank you for letting me know, Game Rightus Guy, about the angles. If I'm not showing it properly, let me know. So that was the Stronghold that I just showed you. Okay, I'm going to show you the slightly smaller version now. So let me just take off the Stronghold and the Watchtower. And the Watchtower has a special kind of place in my heart because Game Genic was kind enough to make one for me with my name on it. So, yay! So you'll notice size-wise, and I'll show you, that was the Stronghold. You'll notice there's a slight difference in size in this one, okay? And this one is the 100 plus, so it doesn't hold as many cards. And so this one does the same thing, where it has this, and this is interchangeable. I could put the red one on here if I wanted to, or I have a white one here as well. I could say, oh, I'm too cool for school, so I'm going to put white and pink, or, you know, or whatever. So I could like put those on. I mean, that looks terrible, but you get where I'm going. And this one does have a drawer, okay, at the top. And then we can take off that bottom piece. Now this is a little different, so let's put that drawer back in. So this one has a piece that comes out where you can have those cards standing, kind of like the Bastion. See? So there you go. And that one just goes in like that. Okay. And then once you're done doing all the things, you can do that. And I think there's ways, like, I didn't get fancy on it, but you can use these as like stands and stuff in some of the smaller boxes to hold them up if you need it to be on an angle. And I have these in these two colors here. Okay. So, I mean, I thought those were nice. They know I love pink and purples and stuff, so that was very kind of them to send that. That one retails for closer to $34.99 US. Holds fewer cards, but something kind of fun. So you can get an idea of the size difference depending on what you want to do. So, yeah. So I think, oh my God, I feel like I was talking so fast. Oh, and thank you, Amanda, the Quiver card case. And I actually also use the Quiver card case to hold my, I have dice. I have several dice. So you'll see at the back, I have little die. That's the dice shelf. That's only some of the collection. I have them in these little like cups. They're really cute. And then I have a whole Quiver case full of dice. I like love keeping them in there. And then I also use my Quiver case for my another card game that I use, which is a slightly longer case. So those are fine for me because I travel with those ones, and I like the color selection, and it's really good. But for a choice of cases and whatnot, what I'm using, I do like the general color selection of these because they have the pinks and the blues, and I think that's why Game Genic kind of gravitated toward them, because they have colors that I like. Like anybody who's never watched me before, or like, you know, what does that even mean? See the purple one that I have on screen there, the pink, the white. This is not a color generally that I would pick. This one was given to me, but these are up my alley. Or like the turquoise or the pinks. Like I love that, and I love that they're exploring that. A lot of these lines I find will stick to black, red, blue, green, which are fine. And I'm not saying those are bad colors, but people like me, and I say me because I love color, love that they're coming out with really cool colors like this that you can mix and match and play with. So, you know, it's not anybody likes those colors. Not everybody likes, I mean, I like black too, but you know, the green and the blues, I'm like, yeah, okay, but I want something like a little more fresh and fun. And I do appreciate that. And I do find that not a lot of lines do that. Quiver is one of them. They do carry some really nice colors, but Game Genic does have a pretty nice selection of colors overall, and there's more coming. So if you notice, if you ever follow their stuff, their logo even has really cool colors in it, and that makes me want to go, yes, colors. And the product, and I mean, after talking with Adrian, who is like, you know, who runs Game Genic over there in Germany, he said they pay attention to detail. And I know a lot of companies do that, but him and I have had conversations about this. And he said detail is really important and making quality products. And that's what you want, right? I know everyone's out to make money, but it also needs to have that quality and standard. So there you go. So let's take the watchtower off the screen. I'm going to switch back over to the main. All right. So that was a lot that I showed you all in my hour of time that I was planning to stream. So I don't know if you have any questions for me, but please pop them in there. If not, you can always send them to Salt and Sass Games. I showed you items that I use for Marvel Champions specifically. I have other things that I use for organizing. So Amanda mentioned Quiver. So if this is a stream that you liked, or you're like, this is cool, I'm interested, I'm happy to do another organization one on other games that I have with Quiver products, and I do have other GameGenic products that I use, just not for Marvel Champions. So yeah, let me know in the chat or just send me an email. Say, Mandy, like that was cool. Like I'd love to see a little bit more about yeah, what you're organizing, and maybe you share with me some of the things that you're using. So yeah. Yeah, thanks, Amanda. So I was telling everybody I got this as a nice gift. So thanks, Danny and Amanda, for showing me that at Gen Con and giving me this awesome shirt. So we got a support, and then I got a little Roll20 die right there above my lit one. So there we go. Okay, very cool. Thanks, Game Artist Guy. I really appreciate that. I tried to make it informative. I tried to set up the picture so you could see the visual and what I was showing you, because sometimes it's kind of hard to. Some people like to see both, and the prices give you a little detail. But yeah, you can always go to the GameGenic site and they'll give you a little more detail what things are made out of, and sizing, like card size and things like that. So dice collection, it's not as amazing as some other people's dice collection, but I do have a lot of dice, like randomly. Tulsa, there's nothing wrong with plastic bags. I don't know how much of the stream you caught, but I was just using those like clear boxes in like a cable box, which looks like a shiny makeup case. And guess what? It worked just fine. I was just able to. I am lucky that companies do sometimes send me products. I did buy some of it. It can be expensive. So plastic bags, as long as you're holding it somewhere and it's not getting ruined, I see nothing wrong with that. So yeah, so if there's a collection you want to see or see how I organize it, I'm totally down to do that. You can let me know on the socials, send me an email or whatever. Or yeah, even on socials, if you want to share with me what you're doing for your collections, I could learn too. I mean, I'm a teacher. We're always learning. I don't know everything. So definitely would be interested to see that. Before I take off, I do have questions for all of you. Who has gotten into Lorcana? I don't own any of it. I think it launches today or tomorrow. So I'm assuming it's going to be wild at the stores. I might get a starter pack just to see what it's about, but I'm not going gangbusters or anything. Okay, Gamer Ice Guy, yeah, you have not. And I'm staying away, right? Like, I don't have any of it either. I know Suzanne doesn't have it either. We're both kind of like, we'll just kind of wait and see when it's not as wild. And yeah, I mean, it's Disney. I think people are really going to like that. I'm curious to see the mechanics because I've been hearing mixed things. But on the other end, Starfield is coming out on Xbox next week. So I actually probably won't have time to play it even if I did have it, because I'll be playing Starfield. Anybody else playing Starfield in the chat? And I have a new PlayStation sitting on the floor. I sold my brother my other PlayStation because it was just the digital, but I ended up getting a good deal on the disc version, so we're doing a little swap-a-roo there. So I got lots to keep me busy. Game Artist Guy, I mean, it's interesting. In the board game hobby, their approach to CCG is backwards. Yeah, definitely been hearing some of that. I've been hearing Broken Magic. I haven't played it, so this is just not my opinion. This is just what I've been hearing. Jeremiah Blob, if I have a group of friends who show interest, I may get it. I'm not going to try to play Lorcana at tourneys and shops. Yeah, I'm not that kind of person either. Like, honestly, I play for fun. It stresses me out. So I totally hear you on that. We went from board games to Keyforge to LCG and now to Lorcana. So I didn't get into Keyforge. Funny, I saw Keyforge before it even launched, like way early. And I could have been like, here, try some decks. It just didn't. It's great, and I see what it is, and I'm glad that people love it. It just wasn't for me. It just didn't quite catch me like Champions and some of the other games. So Lorcana might be one of those where it just passes me by, and I'll be very okay with it. Well, I know y'all are working, so I won't keep you. Thank you so much for helping me with my mic issues earlier. Definitely won't be using the mic on that headset, but not that mic. I might look at getting another microphone that I can kind of just like hang out at this table, because unfortunately the one I have here doesn't reach that far. So thank you so much. I hope my chat's amazing. Y'all are so helpful. And Amanda, you too, eh? You tried Keyforge and it didn't catch you either. Yeah, it's fine. Like, it wasn't bad. It just didn't make me go, ooh, let me buy all of it, you know? So that's how I know when I'm like super into it. So I totally feel that. So yeah. So okay, so that's it for now. Coming up, I put up a schedule of some streams. I'm sorry I'm a little bit behind. I was away for like 2 weeks in Seattle with Suzanne. So it was really nice to have that visit, but I'll be back on track, and we're going to be streaming mostly now on Twitch. Just for those who didn't catch that, YouTube's just not really doing it for us, but we'll use it as an archive. So we'll just put the videos to YouTube once we have streamed them. So this I will put on YouTube in a couple of days, because I don't think I can put it on there right away. So coming up on the schedule, and I think I've put it in the schedule here already, we're going to be doing a My Little Pony stream RPG. That's the farthest one out. That's going to be in October, but we're going to have Joe Sondow join us. We're going to have my friend Stephanie. We did a little test with Wander Home, so she'll be DMing that for us. And then Emma. So you all have never met Emma. This is a friend of It's the partner of a friend who I got to meet, and she's lovely. So I can't wait to show that with all of you, and then you can let us know if you want to continue that story. So that'll be in October. And then I think next week I'm doing Concordia with David, Eclectic Camel, on Steam. And I'm actually going to be doing a solo RPG using the 5e system next Friday. So I hope some of you come for that. We're going to see how it goes. Yes, Jeremiah. Stephanie of Solo RPG Segments will be joining. So Stephanie is a friend of mine and is local to me. So we live in the same city. So she's going to be running that. So I'm really excited. So yeah, so the Solo RPG is called Lost in the Dark. So if you want to look it up in advance to see what it's about, but it uses the 5e system. I'm trying to get into more of these like activity-based RPGs, and I'm really liking, I don't know, sometimes you just want to roll some dice and make some decisions, kind of choose your own adventure kind of thing, but I like the fact that it uses the 5e system, considering that I'm trying to get back into Dungeons and Dragons. So we'll see how that goes. There are a few questions that I have that are unanswered in the book, so I want to clear those up before we do that. But I've been playing it offline, really liking it. I figured I'd play it online, and y'all can help me make some cool decisions. So Game Writers Guide, the last podcast episodes got me excited. Yay! So that's another question I'll be throwing out. Like, I have a ton, like you'll see my shelf right there. I've started putting some of my solo RPGs out here. I have a ton in the closet. I have a ton that I'm waiting for. So yeah, so if this is something that y'all are interested in, let me know, and we can do a little bit more with that. Stephanie on the channel on YouTube has been doing things with solo RPG, so check that out if you want to know a little bit more. I think she's been doing a mixture of journaling and kind of adventure ones. So yeah, so I'm doing them at lunch. I'm sorry, everybody. It's just easier for me. But if this turns into something that you all enjoy, I can definitely take those solo RPG streams to an evening if that's better for all of you. So keep me posted. But as always, I appreciate all of you. And I know Lexi snuck in there. I'm sorry I didn't say hello because we are getting there. So sorry, Lex Retro. Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate it. Sorry that we're nearing the end. But as usual, if there's any comments or questions, find me on the socials at 613 Mandy or saltandsassgames on Twitter. Yes, I refuse to call it whatever it is. Or I'm on Blue Sky at 613 Mandy, Instagram, Twitter, all the things. That is my handle. So thanks, Alex Retro, for popping in. I'll let y'all get back to work. Thanks for taking some of your day and hanging out with me. So have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.